Hey guys, thank you for watching Kook TV and welcome to our third official CCR Kook Sim review of the semester. I'm Connor, this is Chris, and today we're going to be reviewing...
There's one winner. And no finish line.
The Long Walk, directed by Francis Lawrence, came out earlier this month. I don't think there's any better way to review this movie than going on a nice little long walk while doing it around campus. That is right, Connor. So yeah, and do you wanna do the honors, the quote? Do you wanna walk with me, Connor? Yeah, I do, Chris. Let's get started.
What, walk me a while?
Yeah, I do, Pete.
You wanna give your score out of 10 at the same time?
Yeah, sure.
All right. 2, 1, 8 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Okay. I was not expecting that. He actually rated it a bit higher than me. Overall, I would say this was an absolutely great movie. I think it was a great theater experience. I think that the cast was absolutely electric. They had so much chemistry with one another. It did such a great job at not only capturing emotion, but getting emotion out of the viewer. It's a very, very bleak, very sad movie, but it's one that's really well constructed, and it was a lot of fun to watch. What about you?
Personally, I gave it a 9, mainly because despite of a plot that is so simple, can go a long way if it has good storytelling and good actors along with it to give you a big, giant impression.
Yeah, I get that. So we can both agree that it's the people who really make this film what it is.
Yeah.
It's all the people who worked on it, all the cast. And we've seen there's clips out there of them like on social media of their own. They're promoting the movie out of their own volition.
Yeah,
you can
they're
tell
doing
so
a lot.
Yeah, there's so much behind the scenes footage as well. You can tell they had so much fun making this, and they probably this cast probably made some real friends.
Yeah. Despite them walking like around 200 miles still.
Yeah.
It was still a good experience for them.
I think it ended around like 300, but yeah, it was not to mention.
I'm saying that the actual actors had to run 200.
I'm hearing they had to walk like 20 miles a day. And not to mention all of this is bolstered by the fact that Francis Lawrence, such an experienced director, he's actually made a lot of these like Death Game type movies for. I mean, he made half for most of the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah,
which you can tell he's very good.
Did he make Songster too?
He made the I think every Hunger Games movie except for the first one.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, overall, such an experienced, talented, and just really good casting crew. That
amazing.
Absolutely, yeah,
amazing.
We're all in this together, right? No harm in keeping each other amused.
I feel like the most outstanding performance to me was personally David Johnson, because despite him only being in Alien Romulus and I think it was the Road Trip, he could be a part of this one film that brings so much emotion and then give us like these wise words that he gave to Gary during their long walk, that it makes you feel like an entire kind of impact once leaving the film. Okay, so what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree how David Johnson has a lot of range on the stuff he does. But 2 highlights for me personally was one, of course, our main character, Ray Garrity, played by Cooper Hoffman. Something really special about his performance is that this is his first truly big role.
Really?
I mean, he was in Licorice Pizza a few years ago. I didn't watch that, but yeah, I mean, he has big shoes to fill. His dad was Philip Seymour Hoffman, who, funny enough, Francis Lawrence also did direct in those Hunger Games movies. But I think he just does such a standout job. He flows so well with all of the other talent, and it's really special. And then the other highlight I had was Hank Olsen himself, Ben Wong. I remember seeing him first in, it was a Disney Plus show, American Born Chinese.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yes. It was a lot of fun seeing him in that, showcasing his chops. And yeah, he makes such a sudden shift here with his accent and some of the stuff he says. I was like, wow, this is the same kid. This is the same actor doing this.
Yeah, especially his final scene.
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful one of the.
Yeah, and funny enough, he is also going to be in a future Hunger Games movie with Sunrise and the Reaping.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can, I mean, like that, you can tell how close all of these actors have grown together and with the director.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they all did such a great job in those particular. Also see it from Mark Hamill if you can. He's really good to watching this.
Let's be musketeers.
How the fuck are we gonna be musketeers? There's 4 of us.
So both me and Chris do have some experience with other Stephen King adaptations, and I want to talk for a second about how this compares to the novel. I ended up reading through the novel a little bit after we watched the movie, just to see how it compared and everything. And I do honestly feel like this was a much better way to tell the story. And if one more the books, the movie
Okay.
aged a lot better.
Okay.
It's there is an allegory in the book. There's like this overarching idea of like this is the same thing as boys being drafted into the Vietnam War and all the mental and physical tolls that can have on someone. And
Yes.
it's even though that's a good allegory, there's a lot of stuff in that book that just really doesn't age well. Like they lean into like the pubescent part of them. Well, the boys a little too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, which really wouldn't look good for like, let's say, a film.
Yeah. We would be seeing like some X-rated stuff if we got to that level.
Maybe.
But yeah, you want to talk about some of the movies, other Stephen King movies?
Yeah, I really do feel like this is one of his best adaptations so far. I mean, like I've seen things like It's, The Shining, Monkey, and Misery, and there was one more that I seen, but aside from those, and Pet Sematary. But aside from that, I really do feel like that out of all of them, The Long Walk is definitely like one like big shine to like how a movie can be made so creatively. Like I feel like his top 3 is definitely like It's, The Shining, and The Long Walk, in my opinion.
Would you say this is the best one, or do you think there's nothing stop? There's nothing.
No, there is The Shining that is like had an entire impact in American history, so I can definitely not say that, but I'll definitely say in my preference, yes it is.
It's good to hear.
Yes it is.
I need to hear it louder. All for one.
And one for all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right. You know.
Yeah,
you
not.
And our favorite moment from the show. Mine is definitely the scene when they were on the bridge and it was the last 3 members, Garrity, McReeves, and Stebbins. And despite how exhausted they were having this pleasant conversation, making it all nothing but like laughs and like heartfelt stuff. But then like when it comes into this sudden reveal of who Stebbins really is, and the big reveal, it kind of gives more emphasis to like what every character a part of this a part of who all came has their own story and their own meaning to why they want to walk this long walk.
My favorite moment in the movie was definitely the scene at nighttime when Olsen finally snaps and tells Garrity that the garden is full of weeds, and he starts walking backward. It is by far, to me, the most emotionally powerful moment, because it is a scene where so many dominoes fall and so many character arcs hit, like a really like big climax. You have parts like Baker and Garrity, and just every part of the Musketeers, every one of them has such a profound, crazy moment that has like lasting impacts on their psyche. One thing we do need to talk about, though, and it's been a long time coming, let's talk about the ending. The ending of the movie is very different to the ending of the book. In the movie, it is not Garrity that wins. It is actually McReeves.
Yes.
As opposed to it being Garrity versus Stebbins in the book, and then Stebbins kind of just like, has a heart attack or something. I don't really know what happened. But the movie is a lot more like definitive on its ending. It's also much more cathartic because you see McReeves able to get his revenge on the Major. I don't know. What do you think? Which ending do you think worked better?
I really feel like with this film, it's something that a lot of the audience wouldn't expect, because you would expect the protagonist to be that winner, but all along, it wasn't him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like was a good touch on the director's point. Not Now, I did hear that there was like some meaning to one in the film. Like they said McGreaves probably died. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think I do think he died. I don't think anyone good made it out of this movie alive, but I do think that's the point. I think both the book and the movie do a good job. It's a classic message. War is like absolutely terrible. People die, but I feel like, in my opinion, I think the book does a better job at actually showing the effects on the mind. Because let's take, it was an allegory for the Vietnam War. Let's take all those soldiers that came back home. Some of those, if they're still alive, some of them still haven't forgotten what happened. That's why, PTSD and all that. But, I mean, yeah, the ending, it means shell shock. It means PTSD, all the things that all those boys are going through on the walk. And one thing about the ending that was really interesting to me is, if you remember, it's not a draft like an actual war. All of those boys decided to do that because they lived in a society so harsh. And that makes me think about like how propaganda and governmental totalitarian stuff works. And we hear so many times that, our democracy is in danger and stuff like that. And we heard it back then. It's something, it's never, like, it's always been like that. And to see that represented in such a way in both versions, I think that's like really impactful. So I do feel like both still did a great job at showing those lasting effects. But yeah, I do think it edges out. Yeah.
Who's ready to fucking win?
You want to watch this movie? I would say, if you can, take a very, very long walk like us. I promise you, it is worth the effort. It is worth the time. This is, I think right now, honestly, one of the most underrated movies of the year. I'm not seeing enough praise for this movie, and I think y'all should go out and see it. Of course, form your own opinion, and hopefully have as good of a time as we did watching it.
What would I say? Go watch the movie.
Well, Chris, overall, it's been a really long walk, and I think I can say for the both of us that we highly recommend this movie.
Yeah, definitely. I see the same thing too.
Absolutely. Chris, you got any last thoughts before we wrap it up here?
I just want to say that it was a really great honor to walk with you in this fine, long walk. And, well, that is a wrap. So make sure to like, subscribe on our next Coop Cinema review, and we'll see y'all next time.